Hi, I'm Christiana Wu, and I'm from Seattle, Washington. I'm the writer, director, and producer for the short film Alvin. Alvin is about a man who receives free healthcare at the expense of his freedom. The story stems from the significant life experiences I've had in the past. I wanted to convey internal struggles, external circumstances, and the downward spiral that manifests as a result. You can watch Alvin today in one of the sci-fi blocks. And of course, I'd love to hear from you. For more information, please check out alvinthemovie.com. Enjoy the show.
Hi, I'm Seattle filmmaker Wade Chitwood. I'm the writer, director, producer of the film The Prospector. My film is about a mysterious asteroid prospector who is searching the universe for his fortune. The prospector's journey takes him to a place where he has to look directly at his soul and decide what he's willing to sacrifice to achieve his ambitions. Portland rock band, the Shivas, they supply the soundtrack. Their music guides the viewer through the prospector's journey with a kind of foreboding 60s surf rock narration. I hope you enjoy the film. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Jackie Party Scripps, and I directed the music video for K Astra's Softly Tread. So what really struck me about this song when I initially listened to it was it's got this really dreamy 70s quality to it. But I thought it would be interesting to juxtapose that kind of light poppy sound with more dark images. When we see K Astra painting the dresses and painting the photos and painting herself, it's her way of externalizing her inner feelings on her outer environment. And it's very abstract and it's very visceral. It can make people feel a lot of different emotions. You can project almost anything onto those images. I'm here in Austin, Texas. I'm a San Antonio native. I love cold brew, great cinematography, and public radio.
Hello, my name is Sara Alessandrini. I'm an Italian director based in Los Angeles. I'm the director of the music video Black Dust, screening here at Portland Film Festival. Black Dust is the music video I created for the artist Jameson Tabor, born and raised in Portland. When Jameson wrote this song, he was inspired by his personal experience witnessing the conflicts arising between his divorcing parents. When he shared his story with me, I couldn't avoid thinking that this lack of communication and anger that always emerge when people divorce is the same type that is diseasing our society. People fight against each other, don't listen, and don't respect each other's diversity. That's what we want to show with this music video. We want to show that when people pause and start listening to each other, they find out that they're more similar than they thought. Thank you for watching.
My name is Katie Cronin. I'm a writer-director based out of Portland, Oregon. My short film, Costumes, is based on my real-life fear of wearing costumes, and we made it with a small but mighty team based here in the Pacific Northwest. I hope you enjoy my film, and I'd like to thank the Portland Film Festival for screening Costumes and all the wonderful films here at the festival. You are going to drive very slowly to Jess's house. You are going to walk efficiently to the door. Enter the party, shot, shotgun, boom! Confidence. You just have to set yourself up for success.
Made a short film called Newspaper News. It's about a woman who reads the news in a newspaper and experiences the terrible truths of our time. about my relationship with the news and how I still try to find hope, even if all these terrible things are happening.
Hey, I'm Doug Rowland, writer-director of Feeling Through, coming to you from Los Angeles, California. Feeling Through is the first film ever to star a deaf-blind actor. I made it in partnership with the Helen Keller National Center, and we are thrilled to be a part of the Portland Film Festival. In addition to the film Feeling Through, we also take it around the country as part of the Feeling Through experience, a fully accessible 3-part screening event that also includes a supporting documentary following the process of casting and working with our deafblind actor Robert Tarango, as well as a panel discussion and Q&A with the deafblind community. If you want to find out more about that, go to feelingthrough.com and sign up for our mailing list. We'll let you know about the next opportunity to catch that whole experience as well. But in the meantime, check it out at the Portland Film Festival. We'll see you there.
Hey, I'm Rooftop, and I'm a fashion designer, filmmaker, and creative director of the Brand Advisory. I'm currently in New York City, and my film is Time Ain't Enough.
Time ain't enough, Lord in my hands. Devil on my shoulder, he enticing me to dance. Devil on my shoulder, Father and angel, why he stand by so much pain in the mirror. Watch by every other chance.
Time is a music video by Glenn the Sand that explores Glenn's past as a kid, struggling in school, and how that may affect his relationship with his parents. Despite Glenn's parents wanting him to succeed in school, Glenn understands that his heart really lies in the arts. This concept was very personal to me. As I was writing this treatment, I was contemplating dropping out of school because I knew that the only reason why I was there in the first place was to appease my parents. I ended up staying in school, long story short, and I don't necessarily recommend dropping out to anyone, but did make for a good concept for this video, so shout out to that. Here's Time Ain't Enough. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Seattle filmmaker Wade Chitwood. I'm the writer, director, producer of the film The Prospector. My film is about a mysterious asteroid prospector who is searching the universe for his fortune. The prospector's journey takes him to a place where he has to look directly at his soul and decide what he's willing to sacrifice to achieve his ambitions. Portland rock band, the Shivas, they supply the soundtrack. Their music guides the viewer through the prospector's journey with a kind of foreboding 60s surf rock narration. I hope you enjoy the film. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Jackie Party Scripps, and I directed the music video for K. Astra's Softly Tread. So what really struck me about this song when I initially listened to it was it's got this really dreamy 70s quality to it. But I thought it would be interesting to juxtapose that kind of light poppy sound with more dark images. When we see K. Astra painting the dresses and painting the photos and painting herself, it's her way of externalizing her inner feelings on her outer environment. And it's very abstract and it's very visceral. It can make people feel a lot of different emotions. You can project almost anything onto those images. I'm here in Austin, Texas. I'm a San Antonio native. I love cold brew, great cinematography, and public radio.
Hi, I'm Christiana Wu, and I'm from Seattle, Washington. I'm the writer, director, and producer for the short film Alvin. Alvin is about a man who receives free healthcare at the expense of his freedom. The story stems from the significant life experiences I've had in the past. I wanted to convey internal struggles, external circumstances, and the downward spiral that manifests as a result. You can watch Alvin today in one of the sci-fi blocks. And of course, I'd love to hear from you. For more information, please check out alvinthemovie.com. Enjoy the show.
Hello, my name is Alessandrini. I'm an Italian director based in Los Angeles. I'm the director of the music video Black Dust, screening here at Portland Film Festival. Black Dust is the music video I created for the artist Jameson Tabor, born and raised in Portland. When Jameson wrote this song, he was inspired by his personal experience witnessing the conflicts arising between his divorcing parents. When he shared his story with me, I couldn't avoid thinking that this lack of communication and anger that always emerge when people divorce is the same type that is diseasing our society. People fight against each other, don't listen, and don't respect each other's diversity. That's what we want to show with this music video. We want to show that when people pause and start listening to each other, they find out that they are more similar than they thought. Thank you for watching.
My name is Katie Cronin. I'm a writer-director based out of Portland, Oregon. My short film, Costumes, is based on my real-life fear of wearing costumes, and we made it with a small but mighty team based here in the Pacific Northwest. I hope you enjoy my film, and I'd like to thank the Portland Film Festival for screening Costumes and all the wonderful films here at the festival. You are going to drive very slowly to Jess's house. You are going to walk efficiently to the door. Enter the party, shot, shotgun, boom, confidence. You just have to set yourself up for success.
I'm from Switzerland and made a short film called Newspaper News. It's about a woman who reads the news in a newspaper and experiences the terrible truths of our time. It's also about my relationship with news and how I still try to find hope even if all these terrible things are happening.
Hey, I'm Doug Rowland, writer-director of Feeling Through, coming to you from Los Angeles, California. Feeling Through is the first film ever to star a deaf-blind actor. I made it in partnership with the Helen Keller National Center, and we are thrilled to be a part of the Portland Film Festival. In addition to the film Feeling Through, we also take it around the country as part of the Feeling Through experience, a fully accessible 3-part screening event that also includes a supporting documentary following the process of casting and working with our deafblind actor Robert Tarango, as well as a panel discussion and Q&A with the deafblind community. If you want to find out more about that, go to feelingthrough.com and sign up for our mailing list. We'll let you know about the next opportunity to catch that whole experience as well. But in the meantime, check it out at the Portland Film Festival. We'll see you there.
Hey, I'm Rooftop, and I'm a fashion designer, filmmaker, and creative director of the Brand Advisory. I'm currently in New York City, and my film is Time Ain't Enough.
Time ain't enough, Lord in my hands. Devil on my shoulder, he enticing me to dance. Devil on my shoulder, Father, an angel by his stand. Why so much pain in the mirror? Watch about every other chance.
Time is a music video by Glenn the Saiyan that explores Glenn's past as a kid, struggling in school, and how that may affect his relationship with his parents. Despite Glenn's parents wanting him to succeed in school, Glenn understands that his heart really lies in the arts. This concept was very personal to me. As I was writing this treatment, I was contemplating dropping out of school because I knew that the only reason why I was there in the first place was to appease my parents. I ended up staying in school, long story short, and I don't necessarily recommend dropping out to anyone, but did make for a good concept for this video, so shout out to that. Here's Time Ain't Enough. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Seattle filmmaker Wade Chitwood. I'm the writer, director, producer of the film The Prospector. My film is about a mysterious asteroid prospector who is searching the universe for his fortune. The prospector's journey takes him to a place where he has to look directly at his soul and decide what he's willing to sacrifice to achieve his ambitions. Portland rock band, the Shivas, they supply the soundtrack. Their music guides the viewer through the prospector's journey with a kind of foreboding 60s surf rock narration. I hope you enjoy the film. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Jackie Party Scripps, and I directed the music video for K. Astra's Softly Tread. So what really struck me about this song when I initially listened to it was it's got this really like dreamy 70s quality to it. But I thought it would be interesting to juxtapose that kind of light poppy sound with more dark images. When we see K. Astra painting the dresses and painting the photos and painting herself, it's her way of externalizing her inner feelings on her outer environment. And it's very abstract and it's very visceral. It can make people feel a lot of different emotions. You can project almost anything onto those images. I'm here in Austin, Texas. I'm a San Antonio native. I love cold brew, great cinematography, and public radio.
Hi, I'm Christiana Wu, and I'm from Seattle, Washington. I'm the writer, director, and producer for the short film Alvin. Alvin is about a man who receives free healthcare at the expense of his freedom. The story stems from the significant life experiences I've had in the past. I wanted to convey internal struggles, external circumstances, and the downward spiral that manifests as a result. You can watch Alvin today in one of the sci-fi blocks. And of course, I'd love to hear from you. For more information, please check out alvinthemovie.com. Enjoy the show.
Hello, my name is Alessandrini. I'm an Italian director based in Los Angeles. I'm the director of the music video Black Dust, screening here at Portland Film Festival. Black Dust is the music video I created for the artist Jameson Tabor, born and raised in Portland. When Jameson wrote this song, he was inspired by his personal experience witnessing the conflicts arising between his divorcing parents. When he shared his story with me, I couldn't avoid thinking that this lack of communication and anger that always emerge when people divorce is the same type that is diseasing our society. People fight against each other, don't listen, and don't respect each other's diversity. That's what we want to show with this music video. We want to show that when people pause and start listening to each other, they find out that they are more similar than they thought. Thank you for watching.
Hey, I'm Doug Rowland, writer-director of Feeling Through, coming to you from Los Angeles, California. Feeling Through is the first film ever to star a deaf-blind actor. I made it in partnership with the Helen Keller National Center, and we are thrilled to be a part of the Portland Film Festival. In addition to the film Feeling Through, we also take it around the country as part of the Feeling Through experience, a fully accessible 3-part screening event that also includes a supporting documentary following the process of casting and working with our deafblind actor Robert Tarango, as well as a panel discussion and Q&A with the deafblind community. If you want to find out more about that, go to feelingthrough.com and sign up for our mailing list. We'll let you know about the next opportunity to catch that whole experience as well. But in the meantime, check it out at the Portland Film Festival. We'll see you there.
Hey, I'm Rooftop, and I'm a fashion designer, filmmaker, and creative director of the brand Advisory. I'm currently in New York City, and my film is Time Ain't Enough.
Time ain't enough, Lord in my hands. Devil on my shoulder, he enticing me to dance. Devil on my shoulder, Father and angel by his stand. Why so much pain in the mirror? Watch by every other chance.
Time is a music video by Glenn Sayan that explores Glenn's past as a kid, struggling in school, and how that may affect his relationship with his parents. Despite Glenn's parents wanting him to succeed in school, Glenn understands that his heart really lies in the arts. This concept was very personal to me. As I was writing this treatment, I was contemplating dropping out of school because I knew that the only reason why I was there in the first place was to appease my parents. I ended up staying in school, long story short, and I don't necessarily recommend dropping out to anyone, but did make for a good concept for this video, so shout out to that. Here's Time Ain't Enough. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Seattle filmmaker Wade Chitwood. I'm the writer, director, producer of the film The Prospector. My film is about a mysterious asteroid prospector who is searching the universe for his fortune. The prospector's journey takes him to a place where he has to look directly at his soul and decide what he's willing to sacrifice to achieve his ambitions. Portland rock band, the Shivas, they supply the soundtrack. Their music guides the viewer through the prospector's journey with a kind of foreboding 60s surf rock narration. I hope you enjoy the film. Thanks.
Whenever you're ready. Hey everybody, how's it going? I believe, if I have been informed correctly and have figured it out, I believe that everybody's in the room now. So congratulations, and to all the people who are tuning into our simulcast on YouTube or are tuning in on Comcast, who have set into their Comcast remote Portland Film Festival and found our event here. Thank you and welcome everybody to the virtual 2020 Portland Film Festival. Really glad to have you. It's strange, we're doing some of our panels on Zoom and I can see everybody in the Zoom, but I can't see everybody in this one. But I'm just going to trust that y'all are out there. My name is Michael Dunaway. I'm the editor-at-large of Paste Magazine. I'm a former creative director of the Portland Film Festival, and this year I'm consulting, and we have a very, very special evening for you tonight. A very special award that we're going to be giving out. And to give the award, I'm going to introduce one of my very dearest friends, my brother, Jeffrey Poitier. Jeffrey is, of course, part of the legendary Poitier family. I met Jeffrey some years ago when I was working on my first feature, a documentary feature called The Man Who Ate New Orleans. And our mutual dear friend, Keith Morris, introduced us. And he had no idea what trouble he had wrought, because Jeffrey and I have been in the middle of it ever since. There are few people in the world that I love as much as I love this man, and none of that has anything to do with his famous name or his famous relatives. He is just a beautiful man, an incredible artist. I'm very, very proud that he's my creative partner, and I'm even prouder that he's my friend and my brother. And so I introduce to all of y'all, Mr. Jeffrey Poitier.
Thank you, Michael. I feel the same way. You know, for years and years, I was looking for someone to work with behind the camera. And I guess God answers prayers. Here you came. And we made some headway, very good headway, and much more to come. I'm so proud of the work that we've done and some of the work that we've done and have to finish. Come hell or high water. This invitation from you and Portland Film Festival to extend the family's name and legacy in the Bahamas to Margaret means so much, especially since the vast majority of the Poitier family in the Bahamas, as you well know, are mostly women. Whom you've met, many of them. And speaking with Stephanie and Paulette and Meryl and Kijana, and just so many of them. When I mentioned Dunaway's up to something again, and especially Paulette said, "What?" And I said, he wants me to finally honor a great actress and a wonderful person and a friend of Michelle Rashida Turner, who means so much to us. And we had planned on doing this on one or two occasions before and got derailed because of one reason or the other. But here we are finally paying Margaret the tribute, honor, and respect that she so long worked for and earned it. So I have on my new shirt for this occasion. How do you like it?
Beautiful.
Thank you. And I shaved. Normally at this time of the day, if I was in the Bahamas, where you've been with me, we would be eating conch on some side of the ocean or the sea. Here in New Orleans, I'd be jogging in Audubon Park, where it keeps me sane in this coronavirus environment. But I'm happy to be here. I'm ecstatic to be here with you, my co-producer, friend, and brother, and happy that we are taking the time out to honor and say thank you to Margaret Avery for a body of work that is just incredible. We know how hard it is to be an actor. She makes it look easy. And I spoke to family members of mine that are actors and actresses, especially the men in my family who are actors. And both of them said, boy, I'd love to do a scene with Margaret Avery. And I said to both of them, I said, eat your Wheaties, drink goat milk, and take every kind of vitamins you possibly can, and hold on, because I don't think you're ready for this. But there's not a person that I know, including you and I, that doesn't love this woman and respect her. And I don't think that she's gotten all of the recognition that she deserves. And I'm thinking that you agree with me on that. So whenever you want me to start.
Go ahead, please.
Well, where's Margaret?
Margaret is listening in. We're going to bring her in. Actually, Michael, why don't you bring her in right now so we can see her face while we're talking about it. There's that beautiful face. All right, Jeffrey, go for it.
Here we go. I am grateful and honored to present to you, Margaret Avery, the Poitier Family Award in recognition of your body of work as an actor.
Oh, boy.
I am extremely grateful to Michelle Rashida Turner for introducing you to me, and I am humbled that Michael Dunaway and the Portland Film Festival asked me to present this award to you. I've watched many of your films, and all of your performances are impressive and mesmerizing. Particularly your Academy Award nominated portrayal of Shug Avery in The Color Purple. Yet of all the films that you have done, and there have been many, my favorite is still your 1973 role with Clint Eastwood in Magnum Force.
Oh my God.
There is no actor I know, and I know many, who wouldn't give anything to work with you, including actors in my family.
Oh
like
my God.
Rowena Poitier, who is the director of culture for the Bahamas government, who studied acting in New York and LA, who, when I said I was giving the Poitier Family Award to you, screamed and jumped up and down and said, my goodness, I'd love to be a part of this. Then there's also the two other actors in my family, Kevin Humes and Raymond Poitier, who, as I told Michael Dunaway, said, I'd like to do a scene with Margaret Avery. I said to both of
Oh
my
my
cousins, I said, eat your Wheaties, take all the vitamins you possibly can, and drink some goat milk because you're going to need it. The two other members of my family from the Bahamas side that are actors, there is one, her name is Shakitra Stark. And Shakitra came out of Liberty City in Miami and got as far as co-starring on Broadway in Mary Poppins. And you were her influence.
Oh boy.
And I was told to tell you that. And she just came out with a first Christian CD that is now climbing up the charts.
Good for her.
There, you have them from all ages. One of my adopted nephews, a young actor by the name of J.C. Nort, who will be 25 years old next month, who lives in Boston, who is an incredible actor and also a screenwriter, said to tell Margaret Avery, I would start walking from Boston to LA just to meet her. and he's 24 years old. Margaret, you make acting look so easy. We all know that it is one of the most difficult things in the world to do. But your incredible body of work shows that you've mastered it. I remember you telling me when we last met in Los Angeles, when you saw my Uncle Sidney in his role into Subword Love, that it had a great impact on you and persuaded you to pursue acting with more vigor. Similarly, you have a huge impact on the upcoming actors who've seen your work. Margaret, you know the story of my family's fame in the United States. But this award comes from the Poitier family of the Bahamas.
Wow. From
whence we all came. Our family's modern story commenced when my grandparents, Evelyn Outen from Turks and Caicos, age 16, married Reginald Poitier, age 27, in 1911 on Cat Island. Here is their marriage certificate that I brought out just to show you guys.
Oh boy.
And on Cat Island, you know, they raised their 10 children. The oldest of the bunch was Ritas Poitier, followed by Cyril Poitier, followed by Ruby Poitier, followed by Reginald Poitier, and then Vernon Theodore Poitier, and Carl Poitier, Cedric Poitier, Sidney Poitier, Maud Poitier Hamilton, and Dolores Poitier. A lot of Poitiers. From my prodigious group of aunts and uncles came their children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, mostly women. Consider that my Uncle Ritas had 19 children.
Oh my God.
17 of whom are women. And Marty Hamilton Poitier had 15 children. 13 of them are all women.
Oh, wow.
My point is, to get permission from the older members of my family to present this award to you, I had to go through a nation of Poitier women, some men, who readily and wholeheartedly agreed to extend this award in our family's name in recognition of the excellence of your lifetime of work. My family in Bahamas includes Merrill Louise Evans, Stephanie Poitier, Willa Mae Hamilton Stewart, Julia Burnside, and lest we forget the man who also included in this nation of Poitiers are Wenzel Poitier, Cedric Poitier, Patrick Poitier, and Larry Poitier, and Michael Ring and his family. all of us in the Poitier family in the Bahamas salute you and your prodigious work in film. We are proud to offer up our family's name in recognition of your lifetime of work. And we love you. And
everybody at home, join us in giving Mary a round of applause.
My goodness.
So there you go.
Margaret, is there anything that you'd like to say?
Well, I hope I don't have to thank all the names.
Uncle Reedus was a busy man.
He certainly was. But I have to tell you that I've been so busy that I really didn't feel the impact of this wonderful award until actually a few minutes ago. And I realized that it was 1965 that I graduated from San Francisco State College. And Sydney, Mr. Sidney Poitier, had already won the Oscar for Lilies in the Field. Am I correct?
Yes.
And I was going into the field of teaching, but really wanting to go into acting. But I had to earn some money, and I did love children. So it was he really, when he won that Academy Award, I said, oh my goodness, something's going to happen. Colored people are going to be able to do film, you know. Yes. And then I went into teaching, and then Diane Carroll, our Miss Diane Carroll, late Diane Carroll, yes, she got the series Julia. And I said, okay, that's it. You know, I've got to stop teaching and pursue. And I think about people who have not pursued their passion. I mean, when I decided to go into acting, there were no colored people on television, really. I mean, we weren't in commercials, and I made the decision to leave teaching, a wonderful paycheck at the end of every month. And for a person who grew up in poverty, that was a big deal. Yeah. So to move to Los Angeles, to somewhere I didn't know anyone, and it was just following a dream. And finally, it happened, you know. But I say to people, life is so short. Do you realize that was 55 years ago? Yeah. That I graduated from San Francisco State, and these seeds started to plant. It goes so fast.
It does.
And I think of the trials and tribulations we have, the ups and downs, and how we're so tested, our resilience to life, and how we're so often tested about our integrity, and how do we raise ourselves up. And I'll just say this, I was like going through the period, because you know, we actors, we don't work all the time.
No.
You've got these dead spots. And I remember when I couldn't buy a job. I mean, there weren't blacks, there had been blacks on television, but then Sanford and Sons, that went off, Good Times, that went off, and all the white sitcoms, they weren't really inviting people of color. So it was a very scary time. And one day I was emptying my trash, and I thought, damn it, who's putting all these wine bottles in my trash can? And then I realized, oh my God, those are my bottles. That I was drinking myself to sleep out of worry and anxiety, because I knew that my savings was drying up, even with the help of unemployment. And I think about all the people who are affected today by the virus. And I just want to say, hang in there. This too shall pass.
Yes.
And I'm tearing up because I feel so grateful that I believed in God and that God helped me through the hard times. You know, as actors and professionals, no matter what's happening at home, you have to leave that at home and then be on the set. And I just want to say thank you to the Sidney Poitier family to think of me as a part of your family and worthy of this beautiful, beautiful award. And it means so much to me because it means my life, my journey.
Yes.
That started 55 years ago or earlier. And Mr. Poitier was so much a part of that.
Yes.
So while I can still memorize, I hope I still work. And continue to make you worthy.
Yes. I remember when we launched our first film in Los Angeles at 900 Sunset, Michael went to pick up Papa Sidney at his house in a orange convertible Mustang.
Oh my God.
Blaring the music, they were coming down Sunset, bobbing heads to the festival. And when we filmed you in LA for the documentary, and that evening Michael and I and my wife had a long conversation with Papa on the phone. Michael, you remember, at the restaurant?
Yeah.
And we were saying about the people that are in this film. And it is just high compliments that he paid to you and the likes of Bill Cobbs. And I have witnesses like Michael Dunaway who was there. I don't know if we ever thanked you for taking the time to come and see us and to appear in this documentary that we hope to finish up very soon and present it at some point next year, Michael.
Yep.
I hope you do.
Yeah, but if we didn't get a chance to thank you so much for showing up.
Absolutely.
And being in this film. Also,
well, you know, if I was willing to do it for no money, it was very special.
That's the true measure.
Listen, I thought you said we were going to pay her on the back end, Michael.
Oh yeah,
Did you work that out?
I know what that means.
Anyway,
you know all the money this documentary makes on the back end.
Yes. You know, because we only have one uncle left. That's Uncle Sidney. You missed 99-year-old Reginald Poitier by a couple of months.
Oh.
Michael met him and loved him, and he stayed around long enough so that we could get him on camera to get the story of the life of the Poitier people from Cat Island. And
that's so special, you know, for you to know your history like that. I was able to go back as far as early 1800s, but it's, I mean, my goodness, 1700s for you.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
The first Poitier arrived on Cat Island from Sierra Leone in 1790. And we have the paperwork to support that, which is my thing. I've grabbed things from the archives in the Bahamas where all of this history is. And it's such, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. When you showed up to be in this film, I will forever thank you.
Oh,
it means that much to my family and also to me and Michael to share this story. The story that we have in the Bahamas, the world has not even heard our story. You know, for instance, Papa Reginald came on camera when Michael and our crew came to Nassau. And one of the things he was talking about in growing up on Cat Island when they were kids and my father was there and Uncle Sidney, the youngest, was that they didn't see themselves in a mirror until they were teenagers.
Oh my goodness.
And when
so they
first
always love themselves.
Yeah. So when they first saw themselves in the mirror, my dad was 13 years old.
Oh,
Uncle Sidney was right behind him. They ran screaming out of the house and into the bushes because they had never seen themselves in a mirror.
Oh boy.
And Uncle Reginald, at 99 years old, Michael, remember, was telling this story because all they had were kerosene lamps and candles back then. Certainly no radio or television on Cat Island, which is just a paradise. And you know, when he said we didn't see ourselves in the mirror until we were teenagers, my grandparents also hadn't seen themselves in a mirror. Parents. And so it was stories like these that we needed to capture to tell the world where this man, Papa Sidney, came from, that they didn't know about, you know?
Wow.
And so I've got all these pictures from the 1930s of my grandmother in front of the house on Cat Island with Uncle Sidney, my dad, Carl Poitier, Uncle Reginald, and another one of their son and daughter. And keep in mind that my grandmother married my grandfather when she was 16 years old.
Oh my goodness.
In 1911. I remember.
He'd be arrested today.
Oh God, yes.
Margaret, this is all the story that you are now a part of through this award. You are officially been melded onto here. And speaking as another honorary Poitier, we're very happy to have you. And Jeffrey, you're too good looking and too interesting, so I'm going to kick you out so that I can talk to this beautiful woman by myself for a little bit about her career.
Okay.
I love you, brother.
Love you too. Margaret, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you to the whole family.
And you have to come over and meet them.
Oh, I'd love to.
At some point. Michael will see to that.
Indeed.
Okay.
All right.
Kurt's back in Portland. Whenever you're ready to go back to the two-shot, we're ready. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Jeffrey Poitier, my brother. Great stuff there. Margaret, your comments were just beautiful. And you're obviously an incredibly worthy recipient of the award. And I want to talk about you and your life and career a little bit. How do you feel about that?
Okay. It is interesting when I think about it.
There are a lot of ways that I could start this interview, but I think I'm going to start it with my favorite question to start an interview with, even though I already know the answer. Margaret Avery, where are you from?
Magnum, Oklahoma. And I'm nothing against Oklahoma, but at that time it was just God's will that my mother got out of there, because I wouldn't have had the opportunities or the education that I received in California had I remained in Oklahoma at that time.
Did you, growing up in Oklahoma as an African American, did you learn?
Oh no, we turned out to be a Navy family. My father went to San Diego, and that's where I grew up, California.
Right. Oh, that's right.
Even though I grew up in a Navy housing ghetto, I went to a very elite school, and so I got very good education. And you know, at that time, colored people couldn't buy in certain areas. We didn't have the laws that we have now. So I was only there because it just turned out that I was too far away from the next school. But I got the benefit of living in that area. Which was a big benefit. I know how to conjugate a sentence, you know, a noun, verb, adjective, and all of that. But so many of us are missing now in our education simply because our education system has faltered. So
that's right.
People who have graduated from college are misspelling so much and not even knowing how to write a complete sentence. It's very sad.
Agreed. Was with your dad being a Navy guy, was he pretty big on discipline? I'm not talking about disciplining you. I mean the practice.
Oh, that too. Yeah, it was.
Was he part of instilling in you early the importance of hard work and discipline? Because it takes a lot of hard work and discipline to be a great
yes.
actor.
Well, he came from a very disciplined family. His father was a Baptist preacher and everything, we're talking about way back when. So the rules, the social rules were very, very strict. And my mother worked in hospitals, so I got it on both ends. She was like cleanliness to the point, and she was very young when when she had me. She was only 15.
Wow.
So, and uneducated. So that was another plus for me in the long run, because she instilled in me, get your education, get your education. But she was into bacteria. As a matter of fact, I always wanted a whistle. As a kid, the littlest thing can make you so happy.
Yeah.
And so she finally got me this whistle, and she was trying to sterilize it. She boiled it, and the damn thing melted. I was so disappointed. I thought, what a dummy. She melted my whistle.
I hope you got another one at some point.
But anyway, the question was,
did he instill discipline in you? Which
he was quite an disciplined person. As a matter of fact, to a point that it wasn't good. I mean, I think that it's as a parent, we should discipline, but discipline with love.
Yeah.
I mean, make sure the child knows that you love them. It's not just all spankings.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he's a good man, very good man. He passed at the age of 94, and he turned out to be, he had 400 people working under him in San Diego, racist San Diego at that time. He was an airplane inspector, and he was in charge of he worked his way up from a janitor all the way up to being an inspector, and just was really highly respected.
Wow. Well, so climbing up and bettering your station runs in the family, I guess.
well, at that time, we always felt that colored people, if you wanted a job and you had to go compete with the white person, you had to be 10 times better, at least to even be considered, because that's how it was at that time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So even now, it's like, it's instilled in me always to do my best. And if I don't do my best, it's like, oh my God, I think most actors, we are our worst critics.
Always.
And we beat ourselves up. Oh, I should have said the line like this or like that. And then you're obsessing over it for 2 days.
Yeah.
But no more, I've learned.
Do you remember the first time that you saw some particular performance and thought, I could do that one day? I know you've shared that later on it was,
I'll tell you, every Saturday, this was back in the 50s, I would sell Coca-Cola bottles, and I think I got like 3 cents a bottle. And when I got 25 cents, I walked the 2 miles to the movie theater, the Loma Theater, it's now a library. And I saw for the first time a woman that was skinny, because I was skinny as a board, and only people of color, women that I saw had seen on television at that time was, they were big women. And so guess who I saw? Dorothy Dandridge and Harry Belafonte in 2 movies at 2 times. And I saw her and I said, she's skinny like me. And maybe I could be in the movies one day. Because at that time I thought if I wasn't fat, I wasn't going to make it.
Dorothy Dandridge and a young Harry Belafonte, that's a lot of beauty up on that screen.
Oh my God, they were beautiful, beautiful. And of course, I would bring my tuna sandwiches to the movie theater because I couldn't afford to buy popcorn and all the stuff that they sold, and it was illegal. They didn't want you taking that stuff in, any sandwiches. And every time I would eat I waited until the theater got dark, and I would take my tuna sandwich out. And I could never figure out why the usher knew I was eating. He'd come, he said, "No eating in the theater." And it finally dawned on me once, many, many years later, I was stinking up the theater.
Learned your lesson. Learned your lesson. So later on, when you became a school, now we're fast forwarding a little bit. You became a school teacher. You saw Uncle Sidney. You saw Diane Carroll. You decided, I'm going to give this a shot. How did you start out? How did that process start for you?
Well, I was teaching in North Oakland, a beautiful school, Anthony Chabot, and I loved teaching. I really did. But I was moonlighting also, taking voice lessons and dance classes and doing community theater. And I think it was my second year of teaching that I was working as a singer with a quartet Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights. And I was grading papers. I would, as soon as the set was over, I'd run to the ladies' bathroom because everybody wanted to buy me a drink. Well, I'm not a drinker, that would lead to. So I'd run to the ladies' bathroom and grade my papers that I had for the next day.
Party animal, Margaret. Party animal.
Absolutely. And to this day, I look back and all the energy that I had. I used to run around. I'd wake up in the morning before teaching and run around Merritt Lake, which was like about 30 miles. And then I'd go teach. And then after that, I'd go after teaching and having a parent meeting, I'd go and take my voice lesson, or either it was dance class. On the weekends, I was studying in San Francisco. And today, it's like I do two things on my to-do list. And I'm wondering, God, the day's almost over. This is all I've done. So, but that's how it started. Then when I came to Los Angeles, I continued to study because I couldn't get an agent. Yeah. They weren't hot, nobody was on television. And so I just, as I said earlier, I just believed that there was going to be a day when people of color would be asked to be on camera. And when the blaxploitation films started, all of us who had theater background and had been studying, we were right there for those films because we could only do it in one take. That's the kind of budget they had. We would pray that there would be some kind of a glitch in sound or something so we could do it over. But we did those things in one take. Wow. Because we were trained. So all of you out there who want to be an actor, or if you want to do any kind of film, get your training, get your foundation so that when the opportunity arises, you can do it. I guess if you're a filmmaker, the training would be working with people actually in the industry and prepare yourself to get very little money. So you got to figure out how can you live and work for nothing and learn. And that's how teaching helped me, because once I came to Los Angeles, I was able to substitute teach all day and then go and do my acting thing in the evening, which was very expensive.
That and get ready to do it right on the first take, right?
Absolutely.
In Sidney Lumet's movie book, Making Movies, he talks about how pretty sure it's Lumet who said this. It talks about one of his favorite tricks was to take one of the most difficult scenes in the movie and schedule it for the first day, first scene, and then get through with the first take and say, okay, moving on. And he said, everybody on the set just goes, wait, what? But he said, it puts the actors on notice. You better every take, but you better bring it. We're not wasting takes.
Which reminds me of my first take of Color Purple. I gained 30 pounds in 30 days, and it was mostly muscle because Steven Spielberg had wanted me to look physically between Oprah Winfrey and Whoopi Goldberg. So I had to be in the middle. And I had a trainer. I had to know the song. The first shot was me in the juke joint singing, I think it was Sister, Sister, You've Been on My Mind. Yeah, that one. I had, and lip syncing to Tata Vega. She did the singing. I gotta let people know that because people still don't read the credits and think I did the singing. I practiced that song, lip singing. It must have been 1,000 times, and I learned that a singer never sings a song the same way. I don't care how many times they sing it; it's never exactly the same way. So back to your question, that first take, I had to look the 30 pounds heavier, and I had to do that song. And the sound person was playing the song before we really set up. And I'm listening and I'm practicing with it, and I'm so off. Oh my God, Michael, I just panicked. How can I be so off? And so I thought, hey, do you have another take of that? He says, oh yeah, I've got hundreds. I said, oh, please. I said, and I remembered that the take that I had rehearsed to, I don't know how many times, one of the musicians coughed just before the take. And I said, run it to when you hear a cough. And so that's what he did. And I was right on. And I said, oh, thank you, God. Thank you. Because it's like the very first take, to have all that pressure, to have to look right, to have to, and Quincy Jones, the producer, was looking me in the mouth every second, you know. So, and then of course you have the writer there of Alice Walker, and you've got all this pressure.
Right. Well, I was going to ask you about that. Now that you bring up the Color Purple, you know.
Besides, I mean, you got to wear good deodorant that first set. Never let them see you sweat. Oh.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of movies that become special movies, when you're in the middle of them, you don't realize it. I mean, Diane Keaton told me that in the Godfather, she and Al Pacino would go out to dinner and go, oh my God, what are we doing? This movie's going to be terrible. And then it turned out to be, you know. But I got to think that with Steven Spielberg as the director and that magnificent Alice Walker book and a great script and having Oprah above you and Whoopi below you, I think that you knew going in that this was going to be a special movie. And did that?
Well, we knew it would be special, but we didn't know that it would be the hit that it was. Even Spielberg, he said, and I have to share this with you, no one in Hollywood would do that film except Steven. Nobody would do it. And when Quincy Jones took it to Steven, he says, and Steven said to the studios, I don't know if I can make it make money, but I can try to make it come even, you know.
Yeah.
And that was because he didn't want it to go to the artsy theaters, because that would get pigeonholed, and that was why the lesbian relationship was not emphasized.
Yeah.
I've forgotten the question. I talk so much.
We're talking about what did you know it was going to be,
but not as much as Jeffrey.
Well, then you were, of course, nominated for an Academy Award for that role. And I don't think I've ever asked anyone in an interview what was it like to go to the Academy Awards as a nominee. But because we were just talking about how, you know, how you grew up and how you knew the odds were stacked against you, I would like to ask you that. What did it feel walking into that auditorium and having the world look at you and knowing that you were being celebrated?
Well, I took my dad.
Aww.
You know, and that's how proud I was, and he was proud of me. But I must say, I didn't like sitting in the very first row because you don't get the ambience of the room, you know?
Sure,
All you see is the stage. And at that time, the category supporting actress, I think, was first. So once you know that you didn't win, you can really enjoy it.
Right.
But I have to say, there was so much controversy over the film. And I think when it's your first time with all that going on and PR, and you've got to go here and you're doing there, and I'm doing the Carson show, and it's so much. I don't think well, I didn't realize what it was all, how it touched me until after the awards.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you're on the go so much.
Yeah.
And there's a time difference. If you do a New York show, you're up at 3 o'clock in the morning practically to get to a set to do at that time. I mean, we're doing the Zoom stuff now, but you'd have to go to a studio for their 8 o'clock show. Well, their 8 o'clock show is 5 in the morning for us, so I got to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning practically after getting to bed at 11. And so you pray, because women, we are burdened with always having to look good. Yeah. With you men, it's, if you come in looking like the cat dragged in, it's like, oh, it's character. But with us, with women, if I look bad, it's like, no, she didn't. I mean, it's a lot of pressure to look good when you are like, I remember just saying, God, please don't let people see how exhausted I am, because you've got to be up and, oh, I'm so excited and da-da-da.
Well, based on our walkthrough yesterday, when you thought you didn't look good on camera, I'm not sure how bad you really looked ever. So, but listen,
I'll tell you how bad I look.
Tell me.
I'll tell you. I'll tell my husband, babes, I'm going to go to da-da-da tonight. You want to go? And he's watching TV, and the Lakers won. But if he's watching the Lakers, no. So I come downstairs and I get all dolled up, and I mean, it's a transformation, baby. It's a transformation. I'm going out the door, and he goes, "This is the second take. Where did you say you're going?" Or another story I can share with you. My neighbors know how I really look. So a new person moved into the neighborhood, and he's talking to this other neighbor, and he says, who is that black woman that lives down the street? Boy, is she a looker. And I happened to be down the street, sweeping the leaves off the curb, and the neighbor he was talking to says, "Oh, you mean Margaret? That's her." And he says, "Oh, no, she's the good-looking
girl." Oh my God.
Or here's another one, and it's my last one. When I'm getting ready to go on an interview, I'm driving down the street, waving at the neighbors, and they say, "Good luck on the interview." And they know I never look that good unless I'm going for a job.
Well, we have about 5 minutes till I was planning on turning it over for audience questions, but I can't imagine any better place to end my part of the interview than with that right there. So
okay.
I was gonna ask you about some other roles, but maybe I'll just let the audience tell us which roles they would like to hear about or other questions that they would like to ask. Okay. So Michael Kurtz back in Portland, if you can do whatever magic you need to do to make people able to ask questions, whether through video or through text on our little private chat here. We are the great legend and newly minted Poitier Family Award winner, Margaret Avery, is standing by waiting to answer every question you guys have. Maybe while we're waiting for a question, maybe I'll go ahead and ask you one of the other things I was going to ask you, which is, we obviously you've had, I mean, for 50 years now, you've had these amazing roles, and since you were, a year and a half years old, so other than The Color Purple, which we've already talked about, which I'm sure was a great honor and a great lot of fun, what's a role that really sticks out to you, that you really, whether it's well known or not, a role that you especially really enjoyed or really felt you could sink your teeth into?
Well, I'll say a role that I had the most fun, and that was working opposite with Richard Pryor, our late Richard Pryor. He was just the most humble person, most giving, and the most shy.
Oh,
a very shy man. Yeah, and I miss him. Oh, Jesus. But one of the scenes, the first scene that we did together was I played the country wife. Oh, and I've got this scarf all around my head, and we run into a room. I didn't know he was there, but because I have these corns on my toes, and I wanted to put makeup on them,
Okay.
since we were going to be in bed, and that was from wearing shoes that were too large for me when I was a kid. So I'm going in there to put makeup on my toes, and he's in there putting deodorant on, and we're both saying, "Oh, we're hiding our bad spots." But my favorite line that he had. Can I work? Are we okay?
Keep going. I'm enabling 2 windows so I can see questions as they come in. Keep going. Keep going.
Okay. The very first day on the set, this is the first film that I've done since television. And in television at that time, your lines, and the director tells you to walk over here and say this line and be finished by that point. And it's just all memorized, right?
Yeah.
Nothing spontaneous. Well, we're just about to shoot, and Michael Choates is the director. And Richard says, "Oh, I got an idea, Michael." And he goes over to Michael and he says, "And then I'm going to do such and such. And then after that," and Michael is just chuckling. And he says, yeah. "And then I'm going to such and such." And then Richard walks away. And I said, "Well, and then Richard, what do I do?" He looked at me and he says, "I don't know." And immediately, and I'm going back to the people to study, immediately I went back to my improv workshops, improv theater. And I said, "Okay, Margaret, it's just be the character. Whatever he does, you just respond as a character." And it works every time, whether you're on stage, doing a play and somebody goes off. If you really know that character, you've studied it, the history that you've made up for the character, whatever you say to get that actor back to where you are supposed to be, it just comes out. I don't know how, but it just comes out as that character. And I've done it 2 or 3 times now. I might have an ulcer afterwards.
Well, I think it helps.
But the character, the audience never knows.
Yes. All right, I've got a couple of questions from the audience.
Great.
So Andrea Danehauer wants to know, did you film in Portland for the Librarians?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
What did you think about Portland?
Oh, I love Portland. And I got to see the waterfalls, and I got to visit a college mate there. I stayed longer on my time and went to her ranch. And nobody in Portland had a milking cow. I wanted to milk a cow. Nobody had a milking cow. So, and also, I hope
a dance, right?
Yeah. And you in Portland, Andrea, I hope you were safe from the fires, because I understand from my friend that the fire was just across the street from her ranch, and she was lucky. So I hope that things were okay with you.
Beautiful.
But as far as the librarian, I was a little disappointed in that role. I think I could have done more, but we had to just keep on schedule. Television runs fast.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Then what did she say? Did Andrea say she was okay?
She hasn't answered yet, but I'm going to look out for her answer, and I'll pass it along to you, Andrea. If you're still listening, just let her know that you were safe from the fires. We got a question. Well, first of all, Rowena Poitier Sutherland wishes you love from the Bahamas. Rowena is is one of our jurors this year, and she's Jeffrey's cousin, and I guess our honorary cousin at this point, yours and mine.
Okay, right back at you.
Andrea Danehauer says she's good. So from the fires. So all good.
Okay, good.
We have another question. Dwayne Logan. Well, it's a statement and then a question. It's Dwayne Logan that says, Margaret, you're a legend. Can you describe characteristics of what you would say make a great director from the standpoint of working with actors?
Great question. And I'll tell you, it's such an important thing. One of the reasons Steven Spielberg is such a wonderful actor is the director. Yeah. He can communicate to an actor exactly what he wants. He's very specific. From what I understand of him, he sees a lot of theater. He's gone to New York and seen a lot of theater. But when I wanted to prepare for The Color Purple, I went to an acting coach and I said, how can I prepare for this? And he said, just be the character, Margaret. Read the book over and over, because at that time the book was out, Alice Walker's book. He says, Steven is very specific. And I tell you, I've been working with other directors, and you don't know if you can trust a director, particularly in television at that time. A lot of movie directors are now in television, but at that time, directors didn't know anything. They just cast who they knew could do the role. Because they saw you doing something else, so now they want you to do the same thing. They didn't know how to tell me what they wanted. But back to The Color Purple, Dwayne, I would look at a take after Steven went up and spoke to Oprah or to Whoopi, and the next take was like magic. And I remember him saying to me once, he came up to me and he said, and that's when I knew that I could trust him. One of the things he said to me was, do you remember how you felt as a kid when you walked into a candy store? And that sense memory would come back to me, came back to me for that take. And I can't remember what shot that was. But Dwayne, if you can communicate what you want, a lot of directors, just like I'm doing now, go on and on and on and on and talk and talk. And I remember going back to my trailer thinking, what the frick did he say? I mean, what does he want? And I would have to say, okay, Margaret, just be the character, think the moment. And then I would go in and they would say, oh, yeah, that's what I want. Well, that's exactly what I gave you on the interview, duh. So did I answer your question, Dwayne? I know I rambled, which I don't like for directors.
I think you did answer it, and if she didn't, Dwayne, feel free to type in a comment and clarify. Shannon Weathers wants to know, is there a role that you tried out for and didn't get and still wished you had gotten?
Oh boy, there's so many, and I have to not be greedy, because I know you have to think, okay, every role that I've gotten, somebody else wanted it too. So, but I think, what did I want? Well, I got to be honest with you. I wanted a very, very small role just recently, because the Screen Actors Guild SAG insurance has changed. That if you don't make so much money within a period of time, a particular quarter, you've got to go on to another insurance. I have never not had my Screen Actors Guild insurance. And I qualified money-wise, but not in the right quarter. So I needed this job that came up. It would have been fun. It would have been a comedy. But someone else got it because they were already in the city where it was going to be shot. And they were already in an apartment. So that saved the producers money. They didn't have to fly me. They didn't have to give me per diem. They didn't have to put me up in a hotel. And so I said, well, okay, I have to change my insurance. But that's the part that I really wanted. And to be honest, and that was just within the last month.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
but the actress that took it is a big name, but
yeah.
she was probably in the same boat I was in, that she would have lost her insurance had she not accepted it.
Well, if you're ever in that situation again, you need me and Jeffrey to go have a little talk with the director, you just let me know. We got you back.
Okay.
I think we're getting to the end of the time that we have with you. Margaret, you've been so generous with your time and with your openness and vulnerability in this talk. It's just been wonderful. And the Portland Film Festival loves you, and Portland loves you, and I love you.
I love Portland too. Is it raining?
Well, I'm in Atlanta right now, so I actually don't know if it's raining there. It probably is.
I love Portland. They didn't have any smog.
There you go.
Yeah.
So watch your mailbox, and you'll be getting a physical form of this award. I know we don't have anything for you to hold up right now, but
okay. So where does it come in? Is it coming email or Zoom or what?
Well, the award will come through the physical mail. Through the physical mail.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I hope it's not too heavy.
Okay, we'll make sure it's not too heavy.
Sometimes I get these heavy. I'm blessed to get something really heavy, and then I can't hang it.
I hear you. All right. We love you, Margaret. Thank you for joining us.
And I love you all. Thank you. And thank you again to the Sydney family, Poitier family. And I enjoyed your stories. And it's encouraged me to look up my genealogy.
Amen. Everybody.
And thank you to all the fans.
All right. See you soon.
Bye-bye.